Cathie Wood out with comments about Nvidia stock, AI selling out of Nvidia stock, stocks she's looking at as opportunities out there, what she sees coming in the markets. Many other various subjects discussed in this video. I thought I would react to this. We go over this. I just want to jump straight into this video. I appreciate everybody joining me as always. 27,000, I think 500 plus subscribers now on the channel. So I appreciate y'all being here for these reactions as always, and looking forward to getting into this one. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into it.
21. But the recent rally you've missed because the flagship ARK Innovation ETF, you sold out of your main stake back in January. Why?
Speaking about Nvidia here.
So if you, we're very positive on Nvidia. We have been very positive on Nvidia. We bought it down when it hit nearly $100 in the fourth quarter last year. And then it tripled as some of our other AI-oriented stocks stood still. So, we're looking at, believe it or not, many people do not believe this about us. We're looking at relative valuations of names in the AI space. And we were looking at Nvidia at 25 times sales, which is where it is.
Stop.
And Tesla, which is probably...
Stop. Oh, stop it, Cathie Wood. Please. No. Okay. Oh, gosh. Where do I even start with this one? She just brought up a price to sales ratio, a trailing 12-month price to sales ratio. Stop it, Cathie Wood. Okay. In all due respect to everybody watching this, this is not how you value a company by looking at it and saying it trades at XXX, pass price to sales ratio. That's not how you do this game. Okay. All companies in all industries are going to command very different price to sales ratios. One, that's the first thing to look at a retailer. Retailers you can get for less than a 1 price to sales ratio. There's retailers I own personally that probably trade at a 0.2, 0.3 price to sales ratio. There's other stocks I hold that trade at a 10, 15 price to sales ratio. And it does not mean this one's more undervalued than this one. That's not how this works at all. At all, okay? Because the profit margins are immensely different than net income margins, okay? The second thing, and this is most important for everybody to keep this in mind, okay? When you have a epic growth company, which Nvidia is certainly in that category, right? They're expected to grow revenue 60+% next quarter on a year-over-year basis. You don't look at the past price to sales ratios. It's completely irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything. When you're in that ultra growth stage, and that goes for Nvidia, that goes for Tesla, it goes for any of those companies that experience massive growth, looking at the past doesn't tell you the future. It's irrelevant in that when you got a massive growth company, right? If I start a lemonade stand and, the first year we do, I don't know, $50,000 in revenue, and then it goes viral on social media, and all of a sudden we're starting to do, $50 million a week in sales. Guess what? My old price to sales ratio is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. What matters is what's going on now and what's going to happen in future years and running your projections based upon that, okay? So, man, that's, come on, Cathie Wood. Stop it, man.
The biggest AI story out there is at 6 times earnings. UiPath yesterday, not earnings, 6 times sales. UiPath yesterday reported it is a beautiful AI play. It too is at 6 times sales. And as far as Nvidia goes, there are a few reasons we take some pause. It still meets our minimum hurdle rate of return, so 15% at a compound annual rate over 5 years. And so you'll see it in some of our more specialized portfolios. Yeah. We're looking for the better values. But the risks to Nvidia would include cyclical. When I hear shortages about GPUs.
I think one of the factors is I think Cathie Wood thinks stocks are valued on price to sales ratios and what they're doing on revenue, when that's not the case at all. Stocks are valued based upon earnings. It's always been that way and always will be that way. They're based upon earnings and what you see a company's earnings going for in future years. No different than if you're going to judge Nvidia, for this example. You're trying to judge Nvidia, you're looking at what's it forward P, okay? Do I think that forward P is accurate? Which it's not. It's actually, in terms of their forward P, it's actually way lower than what you see out there because analysts' expectations for EPS are going to be, let's call it way too low, and Nvidia is going to report better than that. And you got to think what is this company going to be doing 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now in terms of their net income? What am I paying market cap wise? And is that a fair price or is it an undervalued price? That's how you do this game, Other than that little blip in 2021 where, everybody would pay everything for any stock, outside of that, the market's always been valued on earnings, always been valued on EPS and net income, and what you're willing to pay for the forward P's.
Anything, I begin to think about the cyclicality of a group. Competition. Tesla is coming up with its own chip. Meta Platforms, Google, their own chips for more specialized large language models. And then the tech itself. We're learning from Meta Platforms, the Llama model.
So, in all due respect, and by the way, she mentions Meta, right? Meta's coming up with its own chips and other companies, okay? And I hope they do that, and I hope they're phenomenal. One is a lot of those companies are looking to just keep those chips internal. They're not looking to necessarily sell those to other companies like Nvidia is obviously doing, right? But Cathie Wood, okay, if I was talking to her right now, I'd say, wait a minute, Cathie Wood. What you're saying, you're basically saying that these other companies, Google, Meta, all these other companies are going to come out with chips just as good as Nvidia, okay? That's the same argument that people make about guess what stock? Tesla. The competition's coming. Ford, GM, Toyota, Honda, they're all going to be coming out with EVs and it's all going to take out Tesla, right? It's the same argument. Just because people are going to try to do something does not mean they're going to be as successful or even remotely close to as successful. As of right now, Nvidia has no competition in the chip space. AMD is coming. AMD will be a competitive threat to Nvidia. But with that being said, we know those two get along pretty well, and they both thrive together. Look at it, Nvidia's market cap 10 years ago. Look at AMD's market cap 10 years ago. Look at those market caps and those stock prices today. Look at where their revenues were 10 years ago versus where they are today, their net incomes, their margins. And so that's the race. These other companies, Google, Meta, and whatnot, like they're trying to come out with their own chips to do their own specific problems and solve those things. And who knows how successful or not successful those will be over time, right? But yeah, the competition's coming. You know, we know in technology that's a tough game to play. People did that same exact game with Apple as well. The competition's coming. And sure enough, yeah, every company out there launched a smartphone. Even Flippin' Flapjack and Amazon launched a smartphone. How many were actually successful? How many actually made the big money? These are things you have to take into account when it comes to tech.
Is able to do with less computing power, but more data. Yeah. It's able to deliver better models. So there are puts and takes here, as there always are.
How many frustrated investors have got in touch with you via Twitter or the other forms in which you connect with your own purchases of the ETFs? I mean, there must have been a lot of frustration that you kept it in some funds, but not the main ARK ETF.
Well, I'll tell you what has happened mostly is people who understood the Nvidia story, we were pounding the table on it on 2014, really till 2021. And many people actually put it into their own portfolios, and they may have held it. We have not gotten much pushback. And the reason is people know that we are on AI, but we're doing it in a little bit of a differentiated way. Nvidia has become a check-the-box stock. That's why the valuation is where it is. But we are looking for those plays that have not only the vision from management team point of view and broad distribution, but also...
And I like Cathie Wood's thoughts, especially on a lot of macroeconomic related subjects, but damn, this is the trouble with Cathie Wood. Okay, she claims to be this super long-term investor that, is looking way out to the future and those sorts of things. And then you see her flipping in and out of these stocks often, right? And it's like, what are you doing here? Flipping out of Nvidia. She did that with Palantir last year, right? I don't remember the specific price she sold Palantir, but it was a very, very low price last year. And from what I remember, they dumped out of Palantir, right? And then all of a sudden they bought it back here recently. And so when you see this, it's kind of like, wait a minute. You're talking about these long-term visions and all this stuff, but yet you're in and out of these stocks, and all of a sudden you're such a believer, but then you're selling the whole position, and it's like, and so that's just one of many troubles with Cathie.
Proprietary data and AI expertise. So we're just pivoting to another set of plays that most people have not discovered yet, much like they did not understand that Nvidia was an AI play really until very recently.
So Palantir you mentioned, or UiPath you mentioned, Tesla you mentioned. There's actually quite a few, though. It seems relatively limited overall AI-focused names that you have. Am I missing something there? Are there far more?
Let's see what's going on with Palantir here today. Where are you at, Palantir? Let's see. Palantir, no, wow. Flirting with 15. How about that? Whoa. Flirting with 15, Palantir. Up almost 10% here today. Quite a move. Oh, look at Tesla. Just crossed 200. Back over to the big 200 number. Okay. That was nice. We'll take that. It's a good day in the portfolio. We will take this, Nani. Thank you.
Exposure within your flagship fund, or are you really just deciding that there are going to be a few key names that you back?
No, Twilio would be another name. Almost every company, except for, well, actually, even including the multi-omics companies like Exact Sciences, are using their own proprietary data and their broad distribution networks to gather information and create better products and services. So I would say almost every company that we have in the portfolio is in some way, shape, or form. We ask the question, how are you harnessing this power?
In all due respect, is a very poor way of looking at it. If you're going to say all our companies or AI companies, right, there's going to be a few that actually benefit massively from AI, and then there's going to be a million that maybe benefit a little bit. It's no different than saying, the iPhone revolution, the smartphone revolution. Oh, all my companies are mobile companies, right, because they're going to come out with an app. Doesn't mean they're going to benefit in any massive way or game-changing way. Everybody launched an app, right? JP Morgan launched an app. Amazon has an app. Meta has an app, right? Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, like everybody's got an app. Some benefit it more than others. And that's the important thing to, everybody's a mobile company nowadays, right? Which was the big talk, especially when I got in the market. We're talking 08, 09, 2010, 2011, all those first few years of me being in the market. Everybody was like, what's your mobile strategy? What's your cloud strategy? Everybody was a mobile company. Everybody was a cloud company. But who actually benefited from that in a massive way? Who changed their business models forever because of mobile, because of cloud? Well, I can tell you Apple certainly did, right? I can tell you another company that did. Microsoft certainly did. I can tell you another company that changed their business model forever and actually benefited hugely from that. Amazon, right? So everybody can benefit maybe a little bit from AI. Doesn't mean they're an AI company. There's very specific ones that products are going to serve a huge purpose and are going to thrive massively. Obviously, Nvidia is a good example. In my opinion, Palantir is a great example, and we'll see that over the next couple years here. So yeah.
Tool called artificial intelligence. And I would say 90% of the names in the portfolio are harnessing it and do have proprietary data.
What caught my eye, and we've actually seen so much disruption already to the market capitalization of companies when they have found themselves disrupted by, for example, a ChatGPT. I think of Chegg, the education company, but you noted that Apple, for example, its apps platform could be disintermediated by ChatGPT platforms. Is that a key company that we need to worry about being disrupted? What other names do you think that come to mind that maybe the market has it wrong on how much they could be overwhelmed by this new competitor?
Well, for Google, ChatGPT was either the worst thing that has ever happened to it or maybe the best thing. We tend to think it's going to be disintermediated, though, by ChatGPT and other chatbots. So we're not going to need the kind of search and therefore advertising that drives Google's model. So we do worry about that one.
What? Just so everybody's clear, Google search is still a billion times better than ChatGPT. A billion times better, okay? And so there's, you got to understand, ChatGPT is far worse unless you need a poorly written book, okay? Unless you need a poorly written book, or if you're such a lazy realtor that you can't figure out how to write a description for your home on Zillow that you're selling for your client. For things like that, it's perfectly fine. But I can tell you, there's a reason I still use Google search 10 times a day, 20 times a day, every single day. And I'm not using ChatGPT, okay? Ask anybody that's used those two products and they'll tell you exactly that.
And as you said, Apple, there are many people who think that even Amazon is going to be disrupted.
You can't just say Apple and then just bypass it. How? ChatGPT going to start making us smartphones? What are we talking about here? 'Cause ChatGPT is going to make us smartphones. ChatGPT is going to start making us smartphones. How? ChatGPT going to start making us smartphones? Like, what are we talking about here? 'Cause ChatGPT is going to start making us smartphones? What are we talking about here? This is just like buzzwords, like, oh, everybody, come on, man.
Not only by social commerce, so people just shopping through Instagram and other social media sites, Pinterest, but it also could be disintermediated.
I'm this close to turning off this video. I'm this freaking close, and I've never done that. Ever in the reaction channel's history. I'm this close to shutting this off and just uploading it.
As if consumers use ChatGPT and other AI tools to say, I want exactly this kind of item at the cheapest price anywhere in the world. And it would go directly to that source. So, any platform that has served as, an intermediary is at risk, we would say.
You've name-checked a couple of Meta's things now, Instagram, and you mentioned Llama. Is Meta something that you're doubling down on from an AI perspective?
So Meta is interesting to us. We do like what it is doing. We love its sophistication and the fact that Mark Zuckerberg is now prioritizing artificial intelligence as opposed to the metaverse, which was really what he was focused on last year. So
this shows me she doesn't even do research. Meta's spending as much as ever on the metaverse. He's still prioritizing that. But you do realize, Cathie Wood, you're supposed to be the Elon Musk lady, the Tesla lady, right? You're supposed to be that person. Guess what? Elon Musk, he can have his hands in a lot of things. Oh, gosh. And a lot of them can be successful. As a company, you can do many things and be successful at many things. What are we talking about here? I'm done. I'm freaking done, dude. I can't do it anymore. I'm shutting it off. Like literally, I'm done. I can't do this for another, no. Okay, peace. Much love, guys. I appreciate you joining me. Damn. What the